And when you are offering these differences to account for that difference in your prescriptions, when I equalize them, you are not changing your prescriptions to match what you're offering. So either you have three options here. You can either say, well, I support freedom across the board. I want to lift all the vaccines. Yeah, I just choose whether it's measles, mumps, rubella, polio, whatever, diphtheria, I don't care. Or you can say, mandate all the ones I listed, or you can provide a difference that I already haven't equalized. And then you'd come to, those are the three avenues I see to come to a consistent position. You can think about it if you want. You don't have to answer now.
I don't know if I can answer right now. I can just tell you that I don't know, man.
Nacho, can I ask?
I mean, technically,
I think
you can, but that's going to be
ridiculous. Okay. I think you're pilling me. Okay, I've got a lot to think about.
Nacho, I have a question. I have this because yesterday or the day before when Colin Powell died, I had some feelings about it, and there's some people who disagreed, and someone linked an article, and as I'm reading it, like, I found myself in a moment where there's this desire to just kind of reject and stop reading. And it was like, nah, fuck, this isn't true, right? But I had to like push myself to further validate whether or not what I was reading actually countered what I believed, and to research it beyond the article and whatnot. And, just to find out whether or not I actually believed it. So what I'm curious is, when someone else is presented with something that counters their gut feeling or their beliefs or whatever, I'm curious if you're feeling that, if you can pinpoint it, if you can kind of like, I guess, talk to what's really sticking in your craw.
Are you just talking about like a cognitive dissonance in general, or are you talking about?
Yeah, I didn't want to say that. I try to avoid the words just because they get memed on. But yeah, like that cognitive dissonance. Do you feel it sticking? Can you kind of point to it and say what exactly it is?
I don't really know. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like I have a lot to think about, because I'm not really sure. Like, still where I would be getting hung up. I guess. I mean, I feel like I do as much reading as I possibly can. Like, I don't do like I do streaming as like a side hobby. So it's not something that I do like full time, like Destiny, where I can like literally just like research shit all day if I really want to, or something like that. Right. I'm like working like 80 hours a week. So, but I listen to a lot of like audiobooks and shit, and I read as much articles and stuff as I can. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess I got some more digging to do on this one. But
yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, you can hit me up if you want.
Thank you for the information. So.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, if you can send me like whatever, like you cited like a lot of like, sources and stuff. Like, if you want to send me like any of that stuff, you can.
Yeah, actually, I'll link you to my Discord. I have like an archive of like all the studies I use for like across like a whole bunch of different topics, and they're all stored into like an organized Discord server.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I'd link Destiny too, but he still has me blocked.
Wait, on Twitter or what?
On Discord.
Why does he have you blocked?
Because I'm an infinity debater.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I just tried linking again. Yeah. All right. Well, let me link that to you. Hold on.
Okay, what's up?
All right, there you go.
Destiny, why do you have Homeboy blocked?
What, I have who blocked?
Ivy, apparently.
On what?
Oh, I tried to send him a link to the... Yeah. Oh, yeah, the joke was that he was coming around, and I was sending him a link to all the studies, like a Discord server where I organize all the studies, and I was like, I would send just Destiny the link as well, but he still had me blocked.
Okay, I unblocked your money.
There you go. All right, cool. All right. Well, yeah. Like, I'm happy to follow up if you have any other questions about any of the data we talked about. And yeah. And look. Oh, one thing is, yeah. Thank you for your intellectual honesty and like admitting that you didn't like, have an answer. You need more to think about it. So a lot of people like dig their heels in on this kind of stuff. So yeah, I appreciate the intellectual honesty.
I'm not. I don't know, man. I've done a lot of soul searching here in the past like fucking year and a half. Okay, I was all over the place from like Bernie, like to like fucking Yang to voting for Trump, riding the Trump train in there, and then finding out a bunch of shit later on. Like I just try to look. I think Destiny is actually more center right than he is center left. Okay, I'm just gonna say that.
I think I'm more center right than.
Yeah, we agree on a lot of shit, okay? Like the whole, like, you calling yourself an omni-liberal, I agree, okay? Like, I'm much more focused on, like now after, like, digging into, like, both sides and stuff, and I did a whole like, deep dive into, like, the history of the Republican Party and shit.
All right? It's a stupid game.
I like the idea of, like, being more pragmatic and more, like, solutions-oriented. I don't like feeling like, oh, I just feel this way because this is how I'm supposed to feel because of my side or like my ideology or whatever the fuck. You know?
Oh, sure. So. Just be careful because some of the words you use are a little bit vague. Like when you say like I'm pragmatic and solutions oriented, dude, there's a really, really, really great comic on perspective.
Oh god.
Oh fuck.
Did I use the word wrong?
No. It was fine, but there's
okay.
like, it's basically like an astronaut lands on a. Fuck. Hold on.
While he looks for that, real good podcast that kind of helped me like glean away from that was glean's the wrong word, to lean away from my Republican roots and really get some better perspective. The Slow Burn podcast on the Nixon impeachment, like the Watergate situation. That was a really good one.
Yeah, I did. So there's this lady, Heather Cox Richardson. She does like a 18-part like history of the Republican Party. That was pretty crazy. I mean, well, it's not crazy, but it was super in depth and it's very like objective. And she just lays it out from like when they split from being like the Democratic Republican Party or Democratic Republican Party to being two separate parties, and just walks you all the way through up to where we got to Trump like now. And
historical
it was just
stuff.
pretty eye-opening.
Historical stuff is fine, but don't worry about that shit when it comes to picking which party you identify with the most. All of that is largely irrelevant. Who cares? Like, even 20 years ago, if the Republican Party stood for this or that, or the Democratic Party stood for it, who cares? It doesn't matter. Just like make sure that whatever party you're with now aligns with your current values, because you get into a lot of weird history arguments in terms of like, did the Democrats support the KKK versus the Republicans? Kind of, yeah. There's weird arguments. But no one cares. That's irrelevant. People that make history arguments are either one, people that are genuinely interested in the history, or two, dipshits trying to get an easy dunk with some historically irrelevant shit for modern day contemporary politics.
Yeah. One of the biggest things that I pulled from that thing is like talking about like, cause she lays out how basically like the Republican Party stopped like they kind of turned away from like having an actual platform to like into like movement conservatism and basically turning into like a bunch of ideologues, and it kind of sucks.
Yeah, but again, you just have to be.
You don't really know that, like, and I don't know. I feel like
you have to be careful because that kind of stuff can happen on both sides. This is the comic that I wanted to show you. That's kind of related to this. Does this make sense to you? For this comic or whatever?
Looking.
It's like a perspective thing. Like whenever this kind of relates, but like anytime you think, anytime you think when you say things like, oh, like I just like to be factually correct and I like to be ideologically not like committed to party, like everybody thinks that, right? Or like technically, if you stumble onto anybody, if they've got 4 fingers, 7 fingers, you're like, oh, I use base 10. Oh, cool, me too. Everybody uses base 10, right? It's a positional number system, of course. 1, 2, 3, 10. 11, 12, 13, 20, right? Does it like you're every single person thinks they do the thing that you're saying that you do? Not to say that you're not doing it, but just be careful that doesn't really mean anything, right? Does that make sense what I said? I'm just like, it's like
I think so.
Okay. Yeah. So when you say things like, oh yeah, like I just want to choose the best, I want to do something that's like very pragmatic and makes sense. Like Republicans and Democrats would go like, oh yeah, me too. Like everybody says that.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's why I don't know. That's why I'm kind of like not really. I wouldn't really say. I wouldn't really say that I'm really involved. I mean, locally here, I'm involved with my Republican Party because I can talk to those people and I can. And this is a really red state, so that's just the avenue that I'm gonna have to go through. If this was a Democratic state, a really blue state, then I'd probably be working through the Democratic Party as well. Like
it's like if you've ever heard Vosh talk morality, when Vosh says things like we should do good things and we shouldn't do bad things, like it's like a pointless statement like that.
Yeah.
I believe in you. Okay.
There was something else I was gonna say about the. Oh yeah, what I was trying to get at earlier when I was like mentioning that it was that this kind of there was like this like liberal consensus that like both parties used to like agree on, that like the government is there to like regulate business, promote infrastructure, and provide like a basic social safety net. And then how you're gonna like build those policies like around that is where you can maybe be like more right or more left or whatever, like more business oriented or more like worker oriented or whatever. That kind of you can build that up, but like generally both parties used to share that, and it kind of sucks that we're like.
So here something. So I like to look at this a little bit differently. Okay, I think that broadly speaking, both sides support the same things, but I feel like conservatives see like way more localization in terms of what they support instead of Democrats. And I think, now my history sucks, but I think that a huge turning point for this was like the 60s with the Civil Rights Act. And then arguably like FDR as well with like the New Deal shit too. But the problem is that like when you look at people saying things like, like we should take care of each other, we need to take care of our sick, blah, 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 blah. So Democrats would say that this should come from a federal level, but Republicans think that they should be like at a local level, kind of. I'm speaking in broad strokes. But like when somebody says something like, we need to take care of the sick and homeless in our country, right? A Democrat will be like, okay, why don't we have the social programs necessary to provide for these people? And a Republican will look at it and be like, okay, well, what are the churches doing? Like, why aren't we, giving enough through tithing, or, why aren't our communities taking care of these problems? And now, again, broad strokes. But like, I think that that's the difference generally in how we view our communities. And I would argue that this is a bit more reinforced by the fact that conservatives tend to live in very rural areas that are a lot more community focused, and liberals tend to live in a lot more city focused areas where a lot of the times they don't even give a fuck. They'll leave the city, they move around, they whatever, it doesn't matter. So be careful to not get stuck up in the thinking of like, oh, like Democrats care and want to help people in the country and Republicans don't give a fuck. Everybody cares, but the mechanisms, I think conservatives tend to be a bit more local focused and Democrats tend to be a bit more like non-local or like nationally focused.
Yeah, I would agree with that, by the way. That's actually something else that I was like curious to like talk to you about though, because it was you were like kind of approaching this whenever we were at like the Freer Festival, like near the end, like one of the topics that we were going to talk about, or we did talk about on the panel that you weren't able, or like whenever you're banned, so you weren't able to make it, but it was like about, is there any hope for like the Republican Party? Is like any candidate worth like voting for? Like, should we stop voting for like moving conservatives into the Republican Party and essentially just stop voting Republicans in like altogether and let the party die? Like, would we survive like a uni party? Like, those are questions that like I'm thinking about too, because I don't want to, like, I can't think of any Republicans on a national level that I want to vote for, and I'm not just gonna vote, R because, am Republican or some shit like that.
Did I talk to you at the time about like having a healthy balance?
I don't even think we talked about it there because we were just drinking and chilling.
Gotcha.
I don't know if we even.
So something that I believe is really, really, really important, and I got this actually from managing the Eve Corporation, but I think this applies to all areas of life, is even if you think one side is the absolute correct side, and that's the side that you need to be going towards, I think that it is incredibly important to have a strong representation of both sides, because even if one side is more the correct answer, it's really good to have representation for the other side. Both sides ought to be able to have advocates for them because it keeps the other side a bit more honest. So I think that in order to have a healthy, functioning Democratic Party, I think it's really important to have a healthy, well-functioning Republican Party as well. And I think everybody should want that.
Yeah, see, that's my issue. Like, I want that, but I don't know how, like, and I'm trying to be, like, an advocate for, like, pushing that, especially, like, mostly, like I said, focusing on, like, the local level, because I can talk to these people and I can reach them, and it helps to, like, talk about, it does help to talk about some of the history of the Republican Party, because you can bring up the real heroes of the Republican Party, or people who should be like heroes of the Republican Party, like Eisenhower, and people who were much more willing to like work with the other side, and that did it in a way that was effective and like provided solutions to problems that we had at the time, and not just like, oh well, now it's our turn and we're just going to undo everything that you guys just did, or you won the presidency but we have all the rest of the branches, we're just going to block you on everything. Like, that's not healthy. Like, we can't function like that. And I think that's what made me think about it is, when you were talking near the end of like your talk, you said something to the effect of like, we can't really like we can't go on like functioning the way we have been.
Yeah, whatever we have right now,
something has to give. Like,
the gridlock is unbelievable. It's way too extreme. It's fucked. Yeah
it's kind of like, I don't know what your thoughts on like how, I don't know, I guess like how this is gonna play, or like what you think some like solutions would be, I guess, to that.
Social media has just fucked us in so many ways, but it's so addicting, and I don't think anybody wants to get rid of it anytime soon. Everybody talks about how evil and horrible social media is. Every day there's a new fucking like Reddit post on it. But like, people don't even realize using Reddit is social media. Like, if you're on Reddit, if you're on Reddit regularly, you're probably just as much a part of the problem as anybody that uses Facebook regularly, or anybody that uses Instagram regularly. You're probably like that exact same type of person that's contributing to like the fucked up, horrible fucking country that we have today. Or Twitter even as well. Yeah.
So, I mean, what's like, there's something to be said too about like the fact that like all of us went there and like hung out, and well, I guess I was outnumbered. I think I was probably like the only like right-leaning person there, I guess, that was hanging out in our little group. But it's still like, I was talking, because I went and talked to Vosh too, and I was like telling him that like it was weird because like I have this image in my head of like, oh yeah, I don't know, fucking like, we're probably not gonna get along at all. Yeah, like he's like a fucking like socialist, whatever, and I don't really think
everybody gets along in person because everybody's a little pussy ass bitch in person. Everybody's a fucking coward in person, and nobody will actually, because they don't actually believe or care about any of the shit that they say. Nobody online that does politics. No, it is just that. Nobody online cares about any of the fucking shit that they say or talk about. They don't care about this at all. It's all just a big fucking meme shit that they do to get fucking subs and shit. That's why when all of you little motherfuckers, not maybe you, okay, because I don't know if you have any serious people, but that's because every time you guys see each other in person, you're always like, oh, I love you, you're cool, oh yeah, isn't it cool to hang out, blah, blah, blah. It's because nobody actually gives a fuck about any of the shit they talk about. Fuck that shit.
I didn't have any like serious beef with anybody.
Well, I did. You know what? And fuck.
I've heard Vosh before though, and I just was like, yeah, I'm not gonna, there's no way I get along with this. Like, if we're gonna disagree on everything, he's gonna be talking about socialism the whole time. It's gonna be fucking terrible, or whatever. Or like, even like being around like you and Dylan, I was like, yeah, they're just gonna make fun of me for like being a fucking rightoid the whole time or whatever. But it wasn't like, and I just think, I guess, like something that I noticed, or that made me think about, is just that like, it has to do with like COVID and like being locked down, and then also even before COVID, it's been social media, like you said, like driving us into a much more like divided place. And it's not necessarily like conspiracy theory, like they're trying to divide us all. It's just, that's just how it played out, because these algorithms are meant to like fine tune all of your media for you, everything that you like or everything that you interact with, because a lot of times people get like shit that they hate, but since they comment on every single video of this person talking about socialism or this person talking about like conservatism, like it's just going to feed you more of that shit because you're reacting to it or whatever. Like, so you have these little worlds that we're all built into, and then like a lot of people are like slowly being weaned off of like real life conversations and like actually talking to their neighbors and being like, oh yeah, like, oh well, you're like a whatever, like you're Democrat. Like nobody really focuses that hard on like being,
it's really hard,
a Democrat or a Republican. We're just fucking like people.
Yeah, it's really hard to hate other humans. It's so hard. Even for the biggest, most racist person in the world, when you're actually meeting another human being and you have to confront that person face to face, maintaining like a significant level of hatred for him, it's almost impossible to do it. That's why you have that that Daryl guy or whatever that says that he like befriends racists and it's because it's really hard. This is one of the reasons
and
too.
He's got like a collection of robes because he's made them all
give up their
abandon their like KKK or whatever. Yeah.
It's another reason too why it's really hard in voice chats in games to be as toxic as you can be on text chat, because we actually have to hear the voice of the person and everything. Like to be mean to another human requires like it's a level of evil that like very, very few people actually possess. That's a really hard thing to do.
Yeah.
It's really easy to fall into the I'm being pragmatic thing, because if you look over the history, there are so many things Republicans have pushed that they've been wrong on. And I say this, I don't know about you. It sounds like you're conservative or slightly conservative or were.
I don't like to call myself conservative.
He's a Nazi.
Conservatives are ideologues, but I would say I'm center right. Right.
All right, Himmler. So I was I was conservative all my life. I grew up conservative. I was really conservative until about 2015 timeframe. And it's very easy. I find myself like getting into this zone where I feel like I'm having like some intellectual superiority complex, things I used to judge liberals for, but then I start to understand where it came from. So it's really easy to get into the idea of, oh, I'm being pragmatic and I'm looking at the facts and all that, and that's why I'm liberal, left, whatever. Because conservatives since Vietnam era have been on the wrong side of so much fucking shit. There's Vietnam. Listen to the slow burn on what do you call it? Iran Contra. You just find out more and more. Listen to the slow burn on I say slow burn because it's like an amalgamation of a lot of good sources on the history of these things. They're very well researched. But listen to the fucking. I spent so many years saying Bush wasn't a puppet, Cheney didn't direct the Iraq War, it wasn't for oil, all that other stuff. I still don't say it's for oil, but the war was heavily fabricated. And there's just so much shit that as Republicans you realize, oh, your party fucking misled the shit out of you, fought for the wrong reasons, was thinking of really dumb shit, very dogmatic things going into these situations, and yet fucking here we are. So the left, I hate to use this word, morally lucky in a lot of ways. So it's easy to feel like you're being the pragmatic one, the thinking one, No.
Although you have to be careful because you don't miss, because the left fucks up a lot of things too. Affirmative action in schools has been historically a pretty shit policy.
I'm saying it's easy to feel that way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. I'm just saying, we see some of the big mistakes of the Conservative Party. Left have definitely made some decent missteps as well that have been pretty fucked too, that haven't worked out very well.
Absolutely,
it happens.
Yep. And I don't know as much about that because I started doing a deep dive into Republican Party, and I haven't had time to do the opposite. I want to, but that. Man, you'd love this. I'm gonna send you the video to that first thing because I know you'd like it if you like going through the history of the other stuff. But it does have a lot to do with that because they did it slowly. Stop. They just stopped being
pragmatic.
an actual party. Yeah, they stopped actually having a platform, and they just started doing everything in opposition to the Democrats. And so. A problem that I had was I was listening to a lot of these people. I was listening to Shapiro every day and Crowder and all these guys, and Crowder especially because I liked that he went out and debated people. So then I'm like, okay, yeah, this is really cool. And then he would say he cited all these sources in his videos, and then sometimes he wouldn't, and then I would find the sources, and then it's not because I'm someone who is okay, I'm a fucking tryhard, a sweat. Everything that I'm gonna get serious about, I want to be the fucking best, or I want to be really good at it. So then, if I want to I started talking to people online, and I think I have to credit Sansel. I think Sansel was one of the first people on the left to reach out and want to debate or invite me to a panel or something.
He's a pretty chill dude.
And yeah, he's really nice. I like him a lot. But we had that was one of the first times that I was able to have a really spirited debate with someone, and I felt I just got fucking crushed. I went onto a panel with him and some other people, and it was because I had half the fucking information because these people that I thought were being honest it's not they're directly lying. It's just that they conveniently leave out the rest of the study or certain parts of it, and then I'm the dumbass oh yeah, I got this shit so I'm okay, that's just one or two times. So then I start going back through and vetting all this shit, and I'm digging into every single source and like going through and trying to like read. And part of it was like even on accident sometimes, because I'm like, oh well, I'm just gonna like I want to be able to pull all these sources up whenever I have like this debate or if I'm gonna talk about this issue. And so that just like over time I just like stopped. Like I was doing panels, but I was like hardly even saying anything. Like people like would joke around about like, yeah, American Nazi like hardly ever talks, and it was because like I didn't want that to happen. I was like, I'm not gonna fucking be an idiot again, like on these fucking panels. Like I'm not gonna fucking like lose. I'd rather just not say anything than like open my mouth and get fucking like crushed. And so like I just started digging into a bunch of this stuff and like doing a lot of like. I know, like, you hate people being like, yeah, I did my own research or stuff, but, like, I did, and I was, like, reading the actual source material, reading shit, like, from the CDC, or whatever the case may be, like, from the professionals, and then listening, like, you know, trying to listen to, like, all the sides on this shit, and, yeah, I don't know, it's just, like, a mind fuck, because then I'm, like, reinterpreting, like, everything, and, like, just, like, that's what led me to like do something like that, like go study like the Republican Party, because like I'm like, how the fuck did
it makes you feel
how did
super
we get
gaslit.
here? Yeah, you feel like fucking a loser. And I was and especially one of the bigger things that really fucked with my head was being there on the 6th. So I wasn't like I wasn't like up in there, but like I was there to live stream and really just hang out with some of these fucking guys that I've been talking to, a bunch of like right-wing people. We had been to the Million MAGA March, and we had been to some of the other ones. And the reason I even went to those is because of the same reason. Like I'm talking about this shit, and I'm like, I want to prove these fucking liberals wrong, right? And I want to fucking show them that this isn't just a bunch of fucking racists over here. Like this is just people. And generally I was right. So then I like reinforced. I'm like, okay, I was right. Like this is just a bunch of fucking. Yeah, it's a bunch of old people fucking screaming MAGA and shit. And they get a little fucking stupid, but I was generally right. Like, there wasn't nobody was out there, like, looking to go fight a bunch of people. I'm sure there was some, but I didn't see any. And I talked to a lot of people, and I even had some really good conversations with, like, the opposition. I went and talked to people who were there, like, counter-protesting, or, like, I don't know if you would call them, like, Antifa or whatever. They were counter-protesting the Trump rally or whatever. And I talked to these people, and all this is like reinforcing, like, okay, this is like a decent thing to do. Like, this isn't like a terrible thing to do.
Hey.
And like, I had to, like, backing Trump isn't like a terrible thing. And then I'm there live streaming this because people were donating to me so that I could make it to DC. So then I'm there on the 6th, and like we're live streaming, and then like shit just hits the fan. Like there's like fucking like tear gas going off, and there's fucking like flashbangs, and I'm watching this from like. I don't know, like a quarter mile from the building or whatever it is. Like you can hear like flashbangs going off and shit. It sounded like a cannon. And then like, I don't know, it was just real fucking strange. Like the whole, like everybody in the group was just kind of like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is happening? And like people are like storming up there. So we'd live stream or like videotape as much as you could. And then we're like, we got to get the fuck out of here. Like, and then we just went back to the hotel, and we were just kind of like, not speaking, like, and it was kind of like really fucking awkward and weird, and we were like, I don't know, like, what just happened? Like, what did we do? Like, is this like, you just felt like used, man. Like this is not what I signed up for. Like, this is not okay. Like, none of this is okay. So I don't know, man. That's some really
It's
had a really crazy year ago.
Yeah, well, it was a crazy year. So on a like way less intense situation of reckoning, kind of. I think one of the big points for me was the Southern strategy, and there are those things you hear when you're talking politics growing up, where people will say your party does this, your party does that, and I don't know about you, but for me, it was always just like, remember I asked you that question about like cognitive dissonance earlier?
Yeah.
Like, it's that feeling of like. Back then, it was just, nah, that can't be. But now it's like, anytime I hear something that counters a belief I have, it's like, nah, oh, but I should research it, and I've got to. And then you start reading, and it bothers you. The Southern strategy was one of the like the fucking click moments for me, where you realized, oh, it was a very cynical act by the Republican Party. The Democrats had just been abandoned by, or the South had just been abandoned by the Democrats. And so the Republicans step in, and I'm like, there's all those votes. we start kind of, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, pandering to them, we might be able to get some of those votes. And that's that's something they've pretty much betted since then for the last, 40 years?
Dangerous.
50 years at this point? Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's one of these things when you're like, oh, well, maybe that was just a rough time for the Republicans, right? Like the Democrats, they supported, a lot of the racism in America for all those years, but then they changed. Well, then it's like, oh, well, then Iran-Contra comes, and you see how they get lockstep behind something that was blatantly wrong. And then you see it goes on years and years and years with that stuff. Iraq's unfortunately a huge and costly and bloody example of that. I don't know. I'm rambling. Point is that it gets hard. And then after you see all that and you're like, fuck, my party is full of shit. And there are so few things I can point the Democrat fingers to in the last 60 years. Shit, what do I... And that's when it's easy to really start feeling
see,
like
that's what's
your
crazy
party.
about it too. And because I've had some conversations with some younger guys that are like Republicans that run here, like locally, and it's like they have no idea about a lot of the history of like the Republican Party. They don't know the full state of, I don't know, like how we got to where we are, or whatever, like stuff that you were just talking about. And people like Senator Taft, or not the President Taft, but his son, Robert Taft Jr. or whatever, that was a senator, like starting this big movement, and the McCarthy guys, and like, they don't know anything about that. They just believe that generally it's just like, oh yeah, they were just trying to weed out communists and da da da. And yeah, so when you have conversations with them like that, and yeah, they can be moved too, and then and that's my hope, is that they can move people higher up, and that they can have maybe not the entire conversation that we had, but a conversation with their superior, and hopefully that, I don't know, maybe it's not all for nothing. Maybe I'm not wasting my fucking breath when I have like long conversations with our like local representatives and stuff for the Republican Party. So I don't know.
I mean, so here's two things. I would have said before 2020, local reps have a huge impact on your area around, and they know the power of the votes around them, so they will vote for you. But if you're someone that might get backed by Trump, that political machine is, I think that's the new Tammany Hall. I don't know if we've ever had anything except maybe like the Kennedys that kind of rival that. But Trumpism, man. Like, think about, I don't know how much you follow politics normally, but like, I'm sure you've seen at least one person who was a big
Republican?
A big Republican that spoke out against Trump after January 6th.
Oh.
Yeah. I've been paying attention for the past like 2.5 years.
Yeah.
I guess now. So, but no, before that, I basically didn't pay attention almost at all. Like,
so you've seen though.
Registered when I was, I think when I was 18, I like registered. And that's like been the meme in the right kind of Twitch sphere, because they always tease me about that, because I told them, like, yeah, whenever I first registered, I registered as a Democrat. I never changed it because I was going to vote for Obama, and that was it. And it was literally just because he was black. Like, and I was like, this is really cool. I want to be a part of this.
Oh, see, you're far.
That was literally it, though.
But hey, that's ahead of me, because I was a hardcore John McCain supporter.
Well, I grew up like super like Christian conservative and stuff, but I was there for that. I was like, whatever. Like, I don't keep up with politics, but.
Oh, where's that birth certificate?
Yeah, I was hearing some of that stuff, but it was just my mom was never really like too involved in politics, which is maybe where I like why I had more room to like grow in the sense, because it's not something that was being like impressed upon me at a younger age. So I think generally, I think she's pretty libertarian. I don't know, she's pretty centrist.
I used to say I was centrist, but that started getting a lot of flack, and it took me about a year to really understand it.
People hate us.
Well, now I get it. Like, because when you say centrist, people assume you're the type that is trying to like both sides everything. So ultimately, you never commit to a position. So you never really take, because you're like, well, I understand this, but at the same time, I understand that. And a lot of people have interpreted it as wishy-washy. When I always said I was a centrist, I meant like I thought I was an independent, right? but I guess centrist seems to be like that way. And I mean, I kind of feel that way with Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Trump shit, like, oh man.
The Trump shit is
really weird,
crazy.
too.
We still don't know. Like, the next set of elections is going to be crazy. Like, how influential is a Trump endorsement going to be, or like how much is he going to impact the next set of races? Like,
well, it's crazy to me to have conversations with people on the right and try to convince them of like how bad this is for the party.
well, but the
Because
thing is, they don't care about the party anymore. A lot of
I
people on the
know,
right
but-
that are the Trumpists, they're like the
Right.
party of Trump. They're like, a lot of them actually hate the Republicans. Like, these guys fucking hate Bush. And
Sure,
the
but-
neocons, oh my God. You know?
Dude, but you'd be surprised, like so many people, like even CTV and a lot of like the orbiters of that have these like, well, I'm a conservative, I have conservative values, and da-da-da, but are totally okay with essentially a monarchy in the Republican Party. Like, you're really okay with that one person having all the power of the party. Like, that doesn't bother you at all.
But I mean, I
It
think
doesn't
that's kinda-
bother you
that's what populism-
that Liz Cheney got like essentially booted from her position
Yeah.
because
For speaking out
she
against the January 6th shit, yeah.
even though according to her history, her voting record, everything, she was voting all the policies that Trump was putting on the table, and she's like voted 90% conservative on all the bills she's ever voted on, and gets replaced by someone who is and I don't necessarily have a problem with her being replaced by a moderate Republican, but not if it's not for those reasons. You know what I mean? Like, I'm okay with having a more moderate Republican because then hopefully there's some room to work with the other side and actually get shit done. But the way it happened, I'm like, that's not okay. And people like excusing it was like really mind numbing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
I think that's the scariest part, and that's something that makes it hard to reach out to old family members. Is like you just want to say to them, you realize who just took over your party. Like the person that the year before he ran, you said was a fucking crazy, psycho, disgusting, whatever human being, who 6 to 8 months into his run, you said was fucking horrible, and the things he says are awful, and we don't want him representing the party, and I hate him. But then he got elected and you made the excuse, or right before he got elected, you made the excuse, and they find all these reasons to justify voting for him. Everyone looks for permission to vote for Trump.
Yeah.
Whether my mom's was the Supreme Court, she said that's what I was voting for. But
That was a good
even
reason to
now-
vote for him, to be fair, but
Yeah, it was for that purpose, right? Like overall, sure, but I don't know. But now that we know what we know, I don't even know if I myself as a former conservative, like if I was in that position, I could have been like, oh, okay, I get this, even if I wasn't supporting Trump. And then, but here's the thing, because I'm fucking honest, I would have voted for Trump. I didn't get to vote that year because I didn't get my registration done in time when I moved.
What, in 2016 or this year?
Yeah, in 2016. I voted in 2020. But I didn't get my shit fixed around, but I would have voted for Trump. And it took about 6 months into his presidency that I finally started posting and saying I wouldn't have. And this was before I left the Democratic Party.
I wasn't really paying attention for like the majority of his presidency. So when I did start trying to look into any of this stuff and make my decision, there was like so much shit to catch up on that by the time I like caught up on it, I had already voted, and I was like, holy shit.
Unfucking
I didn't know half this shit. You know, I didn't realize the situation.
Oh my
I
God,
probably
we're just
still,
stopping.
honestly, just because of the, I still probably feel this way right now. I probably still wouldn't have voted for Biden, but I don't think I would have voted for Trump. I just might not have voted at all. Maybe I would have written in Yang or some shit.
I mean, what were you saying? You said, oh, it took me, I remember what you said exactly that made me think of this, but it took me 2 to 3 years to accept that, what was it? Not Charleston. Where was that place? Charlotte? Where there was the Unite the Right rally? It took me like 2 to 3 years to find out that was like actually an event started and mostly attended by white supremacists. I literally thought it was just Republicans mislabeled as you know, as racists and Nazis, and that was the radical left just being fucking insane.
Yeah, well, that's some of the problem with. Oh my God. that's a huge problem with all this like social media shit, because after you hear it like 2 or 3 times and like you see, that's like what we were talking about earlier, like you see a bunch of people like saying the same dumb shit over and over, and or they're making these random claims like not having a valid, not making the good criticism. Like there was, looking back, there was so much shit you could have said about Trump, and you never even had to utter the word racist. You never even had to like utter the word. You didn't have to call like Orange Man bad all the fucking time, like all day, every day. You didn't have to do that to criticize the mistakes that he's making, like in his policy and everywhere else. And instead, it was the I don't know, the angle of attack was just fucking terrible. It feels like the whole way around, and then yeah, looking back, you're like, okay.
It's fucked up, man. It doesn't feel
it
good.
makes you. It makes you. Sorry, I lost my train of thought a little bit. It makes you dismiss like everything that the person is saying, because you're like, oh yeah, well, weren't you the same person that was like saying this, and you know what the fuck you were talking about then? You know, like why would you know what you're talking about now? Like, and then the whole throwing out of all the isms and ists constantly just devalue the word so much that even if Trump literally, if there was a video that came out of like Trump literally in the back alley like saying the hard R and like talking shit about black people, no one would even believe it. They just be like, yeah, whatever, it's just like some fake shit, because it had been thrown out so much that everyone's just kind of like numb to it, like, yeah, whatever.
He inoculated everyone to his bullshit. Like, he behaved that way so much that it was, what, a year in maybe before we just kind of started being like, oh, okay, that's Trump.
Yeah, that was actually a really difficult part of the media, is that, like, Trump did so many outrageous things all the time. You kind of, like, always wanted to cover it. But then the more you cover it, the more it seems like you have, like, this, you know, like, Trump derangement syndrome. But, like, the goal, some people would argue, is, like, the goal is that we should never normalize a lot of the behavior that he's engaged in. But then, like, if you keep reporting on it, you just seem, like, unhinged. And then it's hard to cover, like, anything that, like, truly horrible that happens, even if a lot of truly horrible stuff is happening. That was a really difficult position to be in.
Well, you want to know something really interesting, is that Roy Cohn was a mentor to, like, Trump when he was younger, or I can't remember, like, when he dropped and like he stopped associating with him. But like Roy Cohn was like a mentor, and I think it was involved in his campaign. I can't remember if I'm getting the names mixed up, but and then Roy Cohn was also involved with McCarthy, and so that's why I feel like that's why you see a lot of the similar behaviors that came out where, like, in the McCarthy hearing or trial, whatever, like leading up to all that shit. That's the way McCarthy behaved. He would just make all these outrageous claims, like one after the next, after the next, after the next. And at the time, especially then, the way news was reported, like in the paper, that would be the headline. Whatever he said, like, there's 20 communists in the Democratic Party, that's the headline. Whether it's true or not is irrelevant, because it's just news that another senator said that. And then the fact check the next day or the next issue would be on, like, page 6, and there would be another headline that he had said. So it was just like this constant, like, bombardment of the next thing, and you saw that kind of same exact behavior in the way, like, Trump tweeted, like, constantly, and was always, like, in the face of the media, saying some crazy shit and telling them to fuck off. And so there was always a new headline, and then by the time you figured out what the fuck, you know, was true and false about whatever he was saying, it was like the damage
You're on
had
to the
already
next
done or
thing
whatever.
anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
What's your favorite Tinder opening, Nacho?
I'm married. I've actually been with my wife since before Tinder. Like, it was coming out, like, when we were first dating and, like, getting together and stuff and talking.
So you got married like what, 13, 14?
No, we got married like 2 years ago, but we've been together
Oh, okay.
like 9 years or whatever. So.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, that's about right. I
Yeah,
started
so.
with Plenty of Fish, so that was before, like, Tinder and all that.
What the fuck is Plenty of Fish?
One of the early online dating sites that came out after
Oh,
Hot or
that
Not.
that goes pretty back,
Dude.
yeah.
That's an old meme, yeah.
All right, here you got. All right, you want a woo-woo take from me? A little conspiracy take? Well, I don't know if it's a conspiracy, but I feel really shitty for anybody who's, like, using Tinder and all this stuff, because I don't think the app has a reason for you to get matched into a like a long-term relationship, right? Like if you just think about it from the perspective of like the algorithm of the app, or like the people who are designing the app, you want people to continue to use the app, right? So why would you want them to get
I don't
off
think
the
they.
app?
I don't think the goal is to like fuck you.
Yeah, I don't think it's like it's an intention maybe that they're literally designing it that way, but
So, I will speak to 3 apps. First app is Tinder, and I will say, yeah, I agree. That app, like, minimal matching capability. Second app I'll speak to is Hinge. Hinge, of the mobile-only date, or primarily mobile dating apps, Hinge is the best I've ever had. The profiles are minimal. The conversations have been pretty damn good, even if they don't lead to dates. And then you have your Match and your eHarmony. Those applications, even though they've migrated to a similar mobile model, have actually focused a lot on compatibility and whether or not you will be a good fit for the other person, like on a initial what excites you kind of thing, right? So those, yeah, those are my feelings on the app. See, the Tinder, yeah, they don't really have much incentive. Their matching is minimal. Hinge puts a little more work. Your Match.com, eHarmony are like your more adult, serious apps.
I guess, well, I don't know. Maybe I do think that is the intention, or I'm just curious as to how it could be anything else. Like, because like how do you make money?
Well, the thing is, like naturally,
if you get really good at it, how would you make money?
Relationships are always starting and ending all the time. So like,
yes,
you can be. You can like, it's okay to do relationship stuff because people are going to be naturally, there's a lot of relationship friction. People are going to be dating each other and then not dating each other, and all that shit's going to be happening naturally. So I don't think that there has to be like a big conspiracy to keep you intentionally fucked or anything.
Oh, and you don't know, Nacho, but now they've hella monetized apps. So you pay like,
I don't know anything about them.
So you pay a monthly subscription fee to show up at the top of other people's field.
Oh, and last time I checked Tinder,
boost.
there's like, you've got like, it used to just be gold, but now there's like silver or something.
What does it do? What do you?
So some of them put you at the top of other people's feet, like the
You get to like see who saw your profile or something.
Yes, exactly. You get to see who likes you before you actually have to swipe. Otherwise, you just have to swipe through and find them. You have the it'll show you at the top of other people's feed. Then you can get boosts that also show you higher up in other people's feed.
Literal
you're
pay to win.
Paying down. Yeah.
Jesus, dude.
But it works. That's the thing, though. Is like I've used that shit. Like the boosts do work. You get more matches. I've had more dates because of it. They've absolutely monetized this shit.
Damn.
You're gonna talk about monetizing parasocial shit. I think the dating apps are probably a big one you can look at.
Dude, I got it. Streamerchat.gg. I'm gonna get it, and I'm gonna make it so that all these streamers, just like what's that place where you can hire them? Cameo. Like Cameo has implemented chat now. I'm gonna implement chat, and you can talk to your favorite streamer, Pokey. She'll talk to you. $10 a message.
Be careful. But okay.
All right, it's been fun. Way to go.
Have fun, Kevin.
Bye, Evie.
What a loser. Good job. We wrecked that, dude.
Oh, dude. I did want to. I am angry at you, Destiny. Okay.
Why?
Because I found the algorithm gave me your GameStop manifesto video, and I watched the whole thing. Okay.
Oh no, were you a big GME guy?
I thought something was gonna happen. Okay, I thought you were gonna like debate somebody or like, I don't know, man.
He did.
I was hoping. I know, but I thought it was gonna get like crazy, like right from the jump. And you even warned everybody like it's gonna be really fucking boring, and then.
Oh,
It
you
was
watched the
boring.
manifesto. Oh, that was a really boring video. Oh yeah. Oh my god.
Terrible.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. I mean, I guess you warned me, but it's still your fault. Okay.
Did you watch the debate?
I found a lot of useless information that I'll probably never use again, but at least I'll know it.
Good job.
Yeah, thanks.
Did you watch the stock guy debate?
That wasn't
I
even a debate.
I don't think so.
That was. I mean, if you've seen the GME manifesto, you got to watch the stock guy debate.
Well, okay, it'll make it better.
No,
Oh
it's
my
not
God,
better.
yes.
Maybe it'll make up for that one.
No, it doesn't make up for anything. It's just memes.
Oh, fuck.
This is good memes.
He came out and he explained, okay, he was tired when that video happened. He was streaming a lot.
You tire a lot of people out, dude.
I do.
It's no excuse, man.
A lot of tired people out there in the world.
Energy vampire Steve.
True.
Maybe I'll get my crystals.
Yeah, all you
and
Coomers, make sure anybody who came in like halfway through that, okay, I'm vaccinated, okay? And you should get vaccinated so that your dick works, okay? Because that's what AVI said.
Yeah, I saw that. It was interesting hearing brought that there was like more study done.
That's the first time I've ever heard that, and it's terrifying.
I saw
heard about
headlines
it.
on Twitter, but I haven't actually looked
That's
at it.
probably that's probably like the key, one of the heaviest things that he said in that I was like, oh fuck, dude.
It was like fall last year, and I think
And
it
I'm
was
already
before they had
vaccinated,
studied
and
it.
I've had the vaccine, and I've had the virus, and I'm still scared.
Ah, you're fine. It's gonna be
This
okay.
COVID's gonna sneak in my bedroom. Fucking load up into my wherever he said the Coomer, that part of your
What is it,
part
Steve?
part of your penis.
What?
What's the penis part where the COVID goes?
It's like your corpus varsum or something? I don't know what it's called. It's the part that
Yeah.
like blows up with blood, I
Yeah,
think, when you get it right.
corpus cumus.
Corpus cavernosum.
There you go.
Oh yeah, that one. Indeed.
Plan a lot of free space around it.
So wait, what is an omniliberal? Can you remind me?
That's a meme thing that I made. It doesn't mean anything. Just don't be
Yeah, but
stupid.
what did you say though? That like somebody told me, and I was like, actually, that sounds pretty based, but I can't remember.
Just you were just liberals, but like don't be dumb about it. That's all it is.
There was like something about like taking all the best ideas, or some shit. I don't fucking remember.
Just be smart and
That's
don't be
shit.
dumb.
It's kinda
It's
funny.
that easy, dude.
All right, well then,
Yeah. There you go.
Destiny streamer comes up. You
you've
Google it.
you've converted me. All right, congratulations.
No problem, bub.
Fucking DGG for life. All right.
What? Sorry, it was a marine thing coming up.
Yeah.
Oh, did you play saxophone in band?
Yeah. Why? I went to college. for
Because
saxophone.
I played saxophone in middle school, but then I switched to low
Mistakes were
brass.
made.
It's 'cause you sound fucking.
No, that's
Hold on, wait.
because
I know what
fucking
instrument. I know what instrument you
woodwinds
played.
Suck.
Hold on.
That's why.
I can tell what instrument you played. I can tell by your
No, you
person.
can't.
Hold on. Let me just think for a moment. Let me just think for one moment.
I don't believe in his skills.
Are you lazy enough to be a trombone player? No. Are you? You're a little quiet and reserved, which makes me think like euphonium baritone player. Tuba player. You. No offense, you're not a fat guy. That's the only thing that play tuba. It just was the way that it was.
He could be a drummer.
No, I'm
Just
gonna
one of
say.
those
I'm gonna
tunes.
say.
Percussion,
I'm
but
gonna
that
say.
was off season.
I'm gonna say.
That was
I'm gonna
off
say euphonium or baritone. Is it one of those two?
You were close. I did play baritone some, but I
Oh no,
played
no, wait.
tuba.
Oh, you played tuba? Wait, were you a big kid?
Yep. No, I was like fucking 190. I was like fit as fuck, bro.
Oh, I
I
always
did
saw
wrestling.
big
I did
kids.
track. I played soccer.
I always saw big kids playing tuba. Damn, you broke them all. Good job.
Yep. Just a beast, man.
Wait, how tall were you?
6'3".
Motherfucker.
Yeah, I made that too with my bitch.
Wait,
And we didn't. I was so happy because I thought when I got to high school I was gonna have to fucking march like the shitty fucking sousaphone thing. We got contras, okay, they were the
Hell
fucking.
yeah.
They
Oh
were
my
so
God.
badass, bro. Have you ever seen DCI where they have the? It looks like the same way that the tuba that you sit in your lap, but you throw it like over your shoulder.
Yeah, I know
Oh
the
my
huge,
God.
those nasty. Would you say sousaphone? Were those
Yeah,
like the big?
sousaphones.
They're like
That's
made
the one
like
that wraps
plastic,
around
right?
you. That's
Yeah.
they're super shitty. But I got to play the fucking badass King Contra fucking marching tuba, and it was awesome, bro. I felt like a badass. Because then when you stood there at like attention, you had to like fucking hold it out in front of you. So I got to like flex in front of all the band girls, and I was like, oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
get
Get
it.
me out, dude. I
Dude.
own this fucking tuba. Yeah, dude. I loved band. It was fun, man.
Hell yeah.
Everybody should do band.
Yes.
Quit whatever you're doing right now and do band, okay?
If you're not starting football, fucking do band. You'll have way better experiences.
Dude, honestly, when I in freshman year, I thought about quitting band. I was gonna go play like football, and I like went to some of the football camps, and then I like met some of the guys and some of the coaches and shit. And I was like, this fucking sucks, dude. Like we had so much more fun in band, and I was like, fuck this.
Careful, you're gonna trigger Tabor.
Yeah. Yeah, eat shit, Tabor. Okay. Wait, where's he at? Is he not in here? Dude, our football players loved our band. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I went to a really small like high school, so maybe like that's the exception. But yeah, actually, one of the games, it was like one of the first times we were ever playing the school because we got like the farthest we'd ever got in playoffs, and it was like a fucking almost 3-hour drive or some crazy shit to this school. And the band was like, we're like poor, dude. We're like, we can't pay for that fucking bus ride. Like we got other competitions and shit to go to. And the football players like raised the money or whatever. Like they like paid for the bus so that we could like ride up there and shit, and snacks and everything else. I was like, fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, man. It's fucking base, dude. School's wholesome as fuck.
Why didn't you go any further with the band stuff? You just did it at middle school?
I tried out and made it for Carolina Crown to do like DCI marching band, and then I like wrecked my truck like 2 weeks later. Or I was able to make it to like 2 of the weekend camps or some shit. Yeah, and then I wrecked my truck, and it was like a fucking really bad accident. I totaled the truck, and I couldn't work, and I like couldn't fucking make it to the rest of the camps and shit. So I was like super depresso espresso, but I still play. Like I have a guitar and I play every once in a while, and then I like singing. I've always liked singing. That was like my mom taught all of us how to sing whenever we were really little, because like I said, there's like 8 kids in my family, so we were like our own little choir. She would like march us around all the churches.
Oh,
it's pretty awesome, man. Yeah, wholesome stuff, man. But yeah, I still play guitar and I still sing sometimes, but I don't have a tuba because they're fucking expensive as shit.
And you can't really play a horn instrument like on your own.
Yeah.
Recreational.
Oh,
really
and I was going to go into the Marine band actually, like that was my plan. But I broke my ankle playing soccer. My senior year, I decided not to do marching band and play soccer because I always wanted to. And then, I fucking destroyed my ankle. I had to get 8 titanium pins and a titanium screw.
Oh,
yeah.
How stupid.
8 titanium pins, a titanium rod on the left side, and then like anchors on the inside. And so the military was like, we don't take damaged goods. I've tried every brand. I tried Army and Air Force later on, even Air Force more recently. But yep. So that's all right because then I got with my wife.
Shit.
And we're happy, and then I can do streaming and stuff. I can talk to cool people, and yeah, it all worked
You being
out.
chilling?
Yeah, dude, being chilling, man.
Being chilling.
Yeah, man. Oh, dude. All right, I definitely wanted to ask you this because me and Mrs. Nacho, okay, we're gonna be starting to try, like, preparing ourselves to have a kid in a year, okay? Like in a year where we're like, we want to be like starting like soon.
Okay.
Like, how is it like super scary to have a kid? Like, is it kind of terrifying?
That's like a super variable question from person to person. I mean,
but just for you, man. I'm just asking.
I don't care
man.
about anything in life, so everything is whatever to me.
Jesus
but I mean, like
Christ,
some people
man.
are like super
like
nervous.
when you got like your ex pregnant though, like were you like fucking holy shit?
Yeah, because we were on the verge of breaking up. We yo-yoed back and forth together and backed off. It was horrible. But I mean, like, it's such a variable question. Like, if you're trying to get pregnant and then she gets pregnant, it's probably gonna be really exciting. You're probably gonna be really happy.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it's gonna be a lot of fun, like preparing the baby's room and everything, and picking out shit. There's a lot of shit you want to read about for
fucking cry all night and shit though.
the kid.
Yeah.
So every kid is different. Some kids are criers. They just cry a lot. Some kids are really easy. Nathan was super easy. Now, you have to get used to waking up in the middle of the night, but like basically for Nathan, it was like every 4 hours he would wake up, you would change him, feed him, burp him, put him to sleep. And you would just do that like every 4 hours for like the first like, what, like, is it like 6 months you'd do that? And that's like, they're like on a really rigid schedule. Some babies cry a lot, and that sucks. There's not much you can do about it.
So you just like got ahead of it, like you just didn't even.
Oh, what a fucking idiot, bro!
No, they're waking up. If they're hungry, there is no getting ahead of it. You're gonna know they're hungry. Okay, because the only thing they have to do in life is cry and poop. That's all they have to do, and that's all they will do. Yeah, you can buy like one of those little baby monitor things if you want. Something that you should talk about now that would be nice to get out of the way probably is you should get a really clear delineation of responsibilities.
Huh.
Some dads are like
That's
losers,
actually
and some
kind
even
of
fucks, and
fucking
they'll say shit like,
good.
oh, I don't want to change any diapers because I'm literally fucking handicapped. Don't be that person. Just make sure that you guys have a clear understanding of like who's doing what, so there's not like resent. You don't want any like resent to build up related to your kid. So make sure that you have like make sure that you have that like handled. Get something for. I'm sure people are gonna give you a ton of gifts. This is like way far ahead. Not necessarily. Make sure you get something for diapers, like a diaper genie or something. You don't ever want to be throwing diapers in trash cans. That's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, we got all those little. And she's already like she's way ahead on that. She's got like her whole like fucking. She's already got lists for like the fucking the baby shower and stuff, like the Amazon whatever, the gift registry shit.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, the baby registry.
She's already got those. Like, yeah, she's had those for like a couple months already.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise, just make sure that read about all the crazy shit that women's bodies do a lot of weird things when they're pregnant. So it's good to like be aware of that, like weird cravings, different types of cramps, different like hormonally you'll change a bit. Just good to be aware of that. I don't know. I mean, people have been having kids for basically all of mankind.
forever,
So,
I think.
Yeah, a lot of dumb people have been having kids, so you're probably okay. If you care about it, you're already like.
Do you ever get like?
away.
Do you ever get like worried, like you're gonna be like a shitty like?
No, I think like unanimously,
it's gonna see me doing something and then they're gonna do that.
Unanimously, the thing that I hear by like child psychologists over and over and over and over and over and over and over again is that like if you're worried about something like that happening, you're probably fine.
Okay.
Like again, like I mean, people are pretty resilient. Well, maybe not kids on Twitter today, so it's like you're never gonna like accidentally do one thing and then fuck your whole kid up. Like it doesn't work that way.
All right. Cool. All right. Well, I don't want to keep you. I've got to go to bed. I probably needed to go to bed like an hour ago, but.
Okay, be careful, buddy.
All right, man. Thanks for chatting.
Yep, come back.
All right. DDD for life.
What? Oh no.
Oh, he didn't answer. Coward.
Damn. Was he avoiding it? What do you think he didn't want to admit?
Well, I mean, if I was affiliated with that stupid dinosaur, I wouldn't want to talk about it either.
You must run faster on this, right?
算在我一定 chilling. 我很 running 11 human chilling. And she sudu you jai king ju by being chilling sudu you jai sudu jai king you zoom on 11 king suri signs that she jai in day.
All right, buddy. I'm off too. You have a great night, man.
I love you, better be careful.
Love you too. Have a good night.
You talk big game. What's your muscle IQ? Oh no, probably low. Are you more knowledgeable than the average person about fitness? Let's find out. Oh shit. The bro science quiz. To end all bro science quizzes. Oh man. Easy. Oh god, it's timed? What is most important factor for losing fat? Caloric deficit, meal frequency, meal timing, carb intake. It's this one. You need to train. Do you need to train muscle failure to muscular failure to stimulate hypertrophy? Absolutely not. It's impossible to build muscle and lose fat at the same time. As a beginner, yes. Even as an advanced person, probably. Who would have the hardest time achieving body recomposition, gaining muscle while losing fat? Someone using anabolic steroids? Oh, the hardest time. Someone who's overweight and obese, a lean advanced trainee, or a new trainee. So gaining muscle and losing fat at the same time, I'm pretty sure an advanced trainee would have the hardest time. Which of the following supplements has the most scientific support for muscle and strength gains? Creatine monohydrate or creatine HCI? Oh shit, BCAAs are in a lot of protein shit. I think it's one of these two. I'm gonna guess creatine monohydrate because creatine is like one of the most studied fucking supplements of like all time. But I know that like BCAAs are like in a lot of protein too. I'm gonna guess the creatine monohydrate. What is the most practically efficient rep range for building muscle? Practically efficient is 6 to 50. It has to be. It has to be. Which muscle is not significantly activated by the exercise below? Your lats are. Oh fuck.
Fuck.
Your lats are your sides, they're pulling. Your biceps are pulling. Your anterior delts, I think, are on these things, right? That's my guess. Oh god, it's gotta be. Maybe. That's my guess.
Socialist article ever published in human history.
Which of the following describes the important eccentric phase on a bicep curl? Oh shit. Eccentric.
Bro!
Is it concentric and eccentric?
What a fucking shot there.
Oh man, I don't remember.
What the fuck, bro?
I don't remember the difference between these two. When you curl it, I don't remember. I truly don't remember. Which of the following factors contributes the most to muscle growth? Mechanical tension, metabolic stress, muscle damage, muscle. I'm pretty sure it's metabolic stress, I think. What does RPE stand for? Your rate of perceived exertion, I think? I don't think it's exhaustion. I think it's exertion. I'm pretty sure. Oh, fuck. Why don't I get a score yet? Oh, no. Which rest period lengths tend to be better for hypertrophy? Sorry. It's got to be longer rest periods. It's got to be. It's got to be, right? Which of the following would not count as a form of progressive overload? Increasing the amount of weight you lift for the same reps, increasing the amount of reps, increasing exercise variation, doing an additional set with the same reps and load, increasing exercise variation. It's not. No way. Muscle soreness can be a useful proxy when you hit the target muscle. It's very important for muscle growth. Shouldn't happen when training with good form.
Oh shit.
Muscle soreness can be a useful proxy if you hit the target. That's true. It's very important for muscle growth. That's not true. It's very important. No. Shouldn't happen when training with good form. That's not true. It's just got to be. It's not. It's always all of the above.
Nice.
But I'm pretty sure it's just this one. Noel is a late beginner / early intermediate lifter who wants to build full body strength and muscular size with emphasis on glute development, assuming she does multiple exercises for multiple sets for her glutes each workout. Assuming she does multiple exercises for multiple sets for her glutes for each workout, how many days per week should she train her glutes to maximize gains without serious risk? 5 to 7 is really heavy. Once is way too little. I'm gonna say 2 to 3. She's a late beginner / early intermediate lifter who wants to build full body strength. So she has multiple exercises for multiple sets for her glutes. How many days? I'm gonna say 2 to 3. Could she do 5 to 7? That much volume? Maybe? I'll say 2 to 3. 5 days. Which RIR range is most likely to optimize hypertrophy? I don't know what the fuck RIR is.
That's fine.
Reps in rotation? I don't know what this I don't know what this stands for. Reps in reserve? Oh. Well, I'm just gonna say this because I didn't know what it was. I don't know. For an average lifter using standard technique, I'm pretty sure if I knew it was reps in reserve though, it's got to be like 0 to 3. Why would you want a bunch of reps left? But I'll leave it as 12 to 15 because I don't remember what it is. But for an average lifter using standard technique, which of the following muscles is least activated by the barbell back squat? Least activated. Quads are huge. Your glutes are gonna be used, and your hamstrings are huge. It's gotta be least activated by. I'm gonna say glutes. Your quads and your hams are huge. It's gotta be glutes. That's my guess. Billy is an intermediate lifter who's been weight training for almost 4 years. He really wants to grow his chest. Assuming he's taking most sets close to failure, how many sets per week should he do to give him the best muscular gains without seriously risking recovery issues? Sets per week.
Cool.
3 to 5 sets for like 3 to 4 workouts. Could it be up to 24? If he's an intermediate lifter? 14 or 24? He's been lifting for 4 years, so he can probably do like a decent amount of volume, right? I don't know, this is my guess. 24, that's like past. Which are the most appropriate protein recommendations for an average lifter in a caloric surplus whose primary goal is to gain muscle? 0.8 to 1.2 grams per kilogram of body weight. This is like what I always hear. That's what I hear this all over. That's my guess. Which exercise is shown in the image below? I don't know what the kind of the fucking row is. Well, this is Nipper doing it, so I would guess it's his row. I don't do this shit. What the fuck is this? Helms row, Yates row, Meadows row, the Nipper row. I'm guessing he probably doesn't have exercises named after him. Helms row sounds like Lord of the Rings, so sure. What is the joint action shown in the exercise below? These are called lateral raises. Do you abduct? Do you abduct or adduct with your shoulders? I'm gonna guess extension? Maybe? I don't know. Fuck. We'll guess that one. You're almost finished. Haha, now to the hard one. Oh no. Good luck. You're programmed to do a max effort set for 4 to 6 reps on the deadlift. If you put on a lifting belt and use it properly, which of the following is least likely to occur? You lift more weight, you lift the weight faster, more explosive force, you significantly decrease core activity, you significantly increase IAP, I think is intra-abdominal pressure, which is the point of wearing a belt. So I'm going to guess it's this one. Wait, which of the following is least likely to occur? Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, decrease core activity. You shouldn't be decreasing your core activity. Sorry, next. Okay. Michael weighs 80 kg and has been training seriously for almost 5 years. He bench presses 2 times per week with good technique and uses structured progressions to increase his strength over time. Assuming he has average genetics for strength and is dedicated to the gym, how much should he realistically be able to bench press for a 1 rep max? 176 pounds, training for 5 years. I'm gonna guess it's either 220 or 275. Jeez. 5 years. It's way more than body weight, of course. 5 years. Maybe I'm gonna say 275 is my guess. Internal cueing would be the most appropriate for which exercise from a hypertrophy standpoint? Internal cueing would be most appropriate for which exercise? Internal cueing. Double back squat, bicep curl, double bench press, incline treadmill. What cues do you need for a fucking bicep curl? Internal cueing. Is that like activating the right muscles? Like making sure when you bench you're squeezing your chest as opposed to squatting? That's a guess. I don't know what internal cueing means. What is the average fiber type composition of the soleus muscles of the calves? I don't remember the difference between slow and fast twitch. I think fast twitch are like your big explosive muscles or whatever, right? But I don't know if slow twitch, I don't actually know the difference. This is a pure 100% guess. I have absolutely no idea. Fucking, that's a super guess. Boom. Which of the following activities has been shown to acutely reduce muscle protein synthesis? Cold water immersion. A high sugar meal? I don't know. Foam rolling, I don't know. Stretching between sets. I know that static stretches between sets are bad, but that's because it weakens your ability to do more work. I don't know if it reduces muscle protein synthesis. No way. No way. It can't be foam rolling or this. It shouldn't be sugar meal. Cold water? It shouldn't be these two. I don't think so. Cold water reduce your body synthesizing proteins. Could shivering like fuck with that? Or a lot of sugar. Pretty sure carbs afterward. I'm gonna guess cold water emergency is like such a weird answer, so it's one of these two. This is a weird question. Sugar meal. A high sugar meal. This is too vague. It's not this. I'm gonna guess cold water immersion. I don't think it can be B, but that's unless it's like this, like you shouldn't stretch between sets. But would that really reduce? I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. I'm just gonna guess this one because I know that you're not supposed to like. Rachel is an advanced level lifter who's been training for both strength and size for almost 10 years on an AMRAP something max set. I don't know what that means. An AMRAP set. Roughly how many reps would you expect her to hit with 80% of her daily 1 rep max on the squat? AMRAP. I don't know what the fuck AMRAP means. That's another. We're just. Oh, as many reps as possible? Too late. I don't know if I'm supposed to know it as like part of the quiz. What component of metabolism refers to activities like bringing in the groceries and is a major factor in metabolic adaptation to weight loss?
Survival, brave one.
I don't know. All I know is BMR, which is basal metabolic rate. I don't know if that includes. I think that does include like normal activities, but not exercise. I don't know what any of these other three things stand for or if these mean anything. I have no idea. So I'm going to say BMR. What type of periodization is shown in the table below? Week 1, week 2, week 3. Chest, shoulders, tries, legs. Periodization? I don't know what that means. Oh no. It doesn't seem very linear. Maybe? Does it? No? It looks like some, I'm going to say, reverse linear periodization. I have no idea. I don't know what the fuck this is. 2020 paper from Campbell et al. Has been called the first bodybuilding refeed study. In this study, one group dieted continuously and another group used 48-hour refeeds over a 7-week dieting period. Which of the following was a finding in the refeed group? Better fat loss, better dry lean mass retention, or higher testosterone? This sounds like an all of the above answer for sure. Which of the following would cause muscle protein synthesis to be elevated for the longest period of time? 1 hour of weight training, 10 grams of whey protein, 20 grams of whey protein, 3 grams of protein synthesis. You have to eat protein in order to get protein synthesis to happen. Is protein synthesis encouraged by metabolic stress from weight training? Maybe. I don't know. All right, good luck. Did we get at least... Let's go for at least 20, okay? Believe, okay? Bing bong. Bing chilling. Oh my god, we got 15. Oh my god. Which ones do we miss? Hold on. You are on the permanent Fossabot ban list. Did somebody try to ban me from my own chat?